Okay, so let's continue with our protein synthesis. We just talked about transcription. Now let's talk about translation. So here we have our nucleus. Your mRNA is coming out of your nucleus. Say it's coming out. And it's going to be picked up by a ribosome. And let's just pretend my ribosome looks like this. And so normally it would have a large and then like a smaller subunit, kind of like that. And it kind of gets pushed through. And then we have these sites. This is the A site, the P site, and the E site on your ribosome. There are some important things to note about your mRNA. So your mRNA has what we call codons. Now, codons, blow this up, it's when you have a specific pattern or triplet code of your base pairs. Okay, so you have AUG, and then you'll have AUC, and then you may have T, nope, would not have T because it's RNA, so U. Right, so that would be what our mRNA looks like. So it's going to go through and it's going to be picked up by this ribosome. And then eventually you would also have a stop codon. UAG. Okay. Now I'm just going to quickly pull up my genetic code table, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. So your genetic code table is what you're going to use to read your codons to know what amino acid is being put down. Okay, so let's take a step back. Here is our mRNA, mRNA, right here. It's going to be put through our ribosome, and our ribosome is going to read this AUG at the A site. At the A site, you're then going to have a tRNA come in, which is your anticodon. And so we're just going to draw it kind of like this. And so if this is AUG, this is going to be UAC. And this anticodon is actually holding up an amino acid. What amino acid is it holding? So what you would do is you would look at AUG, go to your genetic code table, and it's actually going to be holding MET. Okay, and that's going to be your start codon. As it goes through, it's then going to go to your P site. That adds a peptide bond. Because remember, proteins are amino acids held together by peptide bonds. And now that A site is empty, and we go to the next, AUC. So let's draw our next tRNA. Okay. And this is going to have UAG. Now, UAG doesn't really matter, right? We want to look at AUC. And so if we look at AUC on our genetic code table, it's LLE, isoleucine. Now that we're getting pushed through, right? Getting pushed through your ribosome, our peptide bonds are there. We no longer need this tRNA. And so then this goes to the E site, which is your exit site. And this goes away and it just leaves your amino acid all by itself. And it's being bonded to the next amino acid. Now your A site is open and we're going to go to the next tRNA, UUU, which is A, and UUU is PHE, phenolphthalein. Okay, don't forget that because we're in the P site, we have that peptide bond being made. And now we're in the E site as it's getting pushed through. And so we get to erase this tRNA, and what it's actually not being erased, right? It's being racketed out into the cytoplasm to pick up another amino acid and do this job all over again. All right, and so then we have our last UAG, and then UAG just stands for stop. And so it tells the ribosome to stop going through translation. And then we are left with a tiny little fragment of protein. And obviously, if you had gone on, you'd have more and more proteins.